All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here. In just a moment, the sheriff will come out. He does have a prepared statement for the update in the case involving Javeayah Harris. Also, at the end of the conclusion of the statement, the sheriff will answer some limited questions. Just keep in mind that there's some details of the case he won't be able to discuss. So go ahead and try to have your questions thought in your head now. So at the end, we can go ahead and ask those questions. So thank you all.
Good morning. I'm Marty Sawyer, and I'm the sheriff in Aiken County. Thank you for being here today, especially the citizens of Aiken that's come in. Thank you for being here. And I'm here to provide an update on the investigation that we've been investigating the death of 4-year-old Javeayah Harris. These updates never get easier to share. This past week has been heart-wrenching for everyone, but we've seen an outpouring of support in Aiken County and a massive joint law enforcement effort to search for and now to seek justice for Javeayah Harris. Personally, there's some very harsh words that I would like to use about Javeayah and Michaela and their actions. But I will not do that. And I will not do that to protect and maintain the integrity of this case. But I will tell you this. I will not refer to them as mom and dad or mother or father. They don't deserve that title. I stand before you saying this is one of the most difficult, deeply disturbing, and emotionally taxing investigations this office has ever worked, and it's weighed heavily on the sheriff's office, all these other law enforcement agencies, all these people behind me that's worked tirelessly to bring this to an end, and it's weighed heavily on our community. I am truly sickened to share what this investigation has uncovered. From the moment Javeayah was reported missing, the sheriff's office, as well as our law enforcement partners and first responders, we responded with urgency, determination, and compassion. What started as an exhaustive and complex search quickly grew to something that I would have never imagined. Now understand, I cannot discuss all the details. We should have stopped the train. Understand that I cannot discuss all the specific details in this case. But at this time, I can share that a few human remains were recovered in an area known as Cedar Creek Reservoir, also known as Stumpy Pond in Fairfield County. These remains were immediately sent to the State Law Enforcement Division, and through analysis, the DNA of the remains are consistent with being the biological offspring of Javeayah and Michaela. I want to also share with you that through forensic evidence, statements, and analysis, extensive and deliberate efforts were made to destroy and conceal evidence following Javeayah's death. Our information reveals the use of corrosive chemicals and other tools that were used to accelerate the destruction of her little body. After this was completed, these two individuals poured what remains were left of Javeayah into the Cedar Creek Reservoir. These subjects went through great lengths to cover their repulsive and revolting actions. In my 37-year career in law enforcement, I have never, ever heard of anything so horrific. As a result of this information, it's unlikely that the entirety of Javeayah's body or any other remains from this point forward will be recovered. And I'll say this again, we had all hoped and prayed to find her body, but with the information we've uncovered, that's simply not possible. I want to also announce additional charges for destruction and desecration of human remains have been filed against these two individuals. I know this is heartbreaking for anyone who's followed this case. It's heartbreaking for our office. For all the law enforcement across the state that's worked on this case, countless hours to find every piece of evidence with the hope of bringing Javeayah home. It's heartbreaking to our community. Our commitment has been to pursue the truth regardless of how difficult it may be. While no announcement can lessen the profound loss in this case, our commitment remains unchanged. Today is not only about the evidence recovered, it's about a child whose life was taken far too soon. While today marks a painful chapter in this case, it does not end our work. Our investigators will continue to pursue every lead, examine every piece of evidence, and work closely with the Second Circuit Solicitor's Office to ensure that justice for Javeayah is pursued. I ask you to pray. Pray for Javeayah and her extended family, our staff, all these other law enforcement agencies, and this community. Again, I want to thank all these law enforcement partners, local, state, federal, other first responders who assisted in this case. But from the time I announced at my last press conference that the investigation had taken us outside of Aiken County, I specifically want to thank the State Law Enforcement Division, South Carolina DNR, and Sheriff Will Montgomery and the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office. These DNR divers spent hours and hours and hours searching. Finally, I want to again thank our community. Throughout this investigation, you demonstrated encouragement, patience, and prayers. We recognize the emotional impact this case has had on so many, and we thank you for standing with us. Together, this community has shown that even in the face of tragedy, compassion, unity, and service remains stronger than the darkness we've encountered. I'm going to take a few questions, but if it didn't come from this press release, you're probably not going to get much more.
Sheriff, with how this investigation has unfolded and these additional charges on the parents, at some point, do you have plans to push for the death penalty?
At this point in time, with what they're charged with, that would be a question for the solicitor's office later down the line. I don't want to speak for them.
And what have you guys learned from relatives or other close family about when Javeayah was last seen alive, and whether or not any one of the close family members had raised any concerns about not seeing her for an extended period of time?
I'm just going to say the same thing I said at the last press conference. We believe that she had been dead for about a month before the 911 call.
Has there been any evidence that you guys have found in the last few days, or when it comes to the child abuse standpoint with Javeayah, that was it one specific incident that potentially killed her? Was it ongoing?
I can't speak on that. I know the answer. I'm just not going to give that.
You all have on the pink ties and the pink ribbons. Can you elaborate on what that means? You mentioned seeing the community here, put together this video tonight. What does this mean to you?
Well, everybody's put on Facebook to wear pink. The pink's her favorite color. We just thought it would be, we care about her like everybody else does. We have people that'll be at the vigil tonight. I have a previous speaking engagement, so I can't be there. They come late. We just want to show that we're human beings. We're not robots. We care about the people in this community, especially the 4-year-old girl. This is the most disturbing thing you can see. I'm not going. Our investigation led us there. Okay. Thank y'all, and thank you, community.